Hey, I'm Candace Scalise, and this is 21 Next here in Central PA. We are reporting live from the CBS 21 newsroom, and I want to bring in Andrew Klein, our local reporter today, because we are talking about Lancaster County. And Andrew, you have really taken on a story it's gotten a lot of views. A lot of people are talking about this. A woman picked up by ICE recently. Protesters were outside, saying that they did not agree with the arrest of this woman. And now you're learning more information about what happens after somebody is picked up by ICE. So what did you find out about today before we get into this woman's history?
Well, a lot of what I found out today was what people can do. What steps should you take, or what steps should your family take if somebody is detained or taken by ICE? And one of the big things, the most important thing, the first thing that you should do is find an immigration attorney. You need somebody who can help you on that legal side, and that's what an attorney is going to do. So the other aspect of that is you need to make sure that this is a legit attorney. I spoke with Shamaine Daniels today. She's the state director for CASA, and she told me that in some other countries, people will become a notary, and that might fool some people into thinking they're a lawyer. No, that's not a lawyer. That's completely different. Find a true immigration attorney. Do your research. Make sure you have all the background information that you have, and once you find that person, then you are really able to move forward. But the other thing that I found out today was that it's really hard to find an immigration attorney, and that there are not the numbers that the people want to see right now. Shamaine Daniels said that, there are fewer immigration attorneys right now than there used to be, and that's causing a huge issue as well for people who have been detained.
And there have been more arrests by ICE this year since President Trump has come into office and making it, a priority of his. What do we know so far about this specific woman's case? Why are people upset about the fact that she was detained by ICE? I don't know if you could hear me there, Andrew, but what are people upset about specifically when it comes to this woman's case?
Well, they're upset with, how it was handled first and foremost. There are a lot of things that people are upset about. So she had just gone to the York ERO in an attempt to, according to a GoFundMe, in an attempt to join the alternative to detention program when she was taken at the ERO in York. But it backtracks so much farther because there's so much more to her specific story that some people are not necessarily talking about.
Okay. I know that she was in the U.S. on a tourist visa, and then that was not renewed. So she has been here 25 years without a new visa. What happens next for her, or do we know that yet?
Yeah, I don't think we know that right now. She's obviously going to have to go through the process. She's going to have to find legal representation. And that GoFundMe that I mentioned that speaks about Estrelita Solomon Ramos does mention that, they're trying to pay for legal fees. They've raised $85,000 via that GoFundMe for her legal fees. But right now she's in that middle ground of she's just been detained, and the steps forward are not necessarily super defined or super laid out. She's going to have to, as I mentioned earlier, find an attorney that she trusts, that she can move forward with, and figure out if there was some sort of a defense to this. There are defenses to the United States potentially deporting you, but it's important to make sure all your affairs are in order and make sure that everything that comes with that is in the right place. One of the big ones with this specific case was this woman's husband. We don't know his citizenship status, so I don't want to, imply anything, but she was trying to, through her daughter as her sponsor, become a U.S. citizen. Her husband passed away. And when I spoke to Shamaine, she told me that people who are applying for citizenship with, a spouse or somebody close to them that dies, the appeal dies right with them. So
wow, okay.
There's going to be, a lot of questions moving forward. And if she is able to justify that she was in the United States, in good faith in this marriage, that's the other big thing she needs to justify, is that it was in good faith and that she was not lying, because that's what U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement could try to say, is that, no matter what, she's lying, and her motives were not to, fall in love with this man and live in the United States with him, but they were just to use him to get into the United States and be here safely.
Yeah, a lot of court proceedings to happen from here on out. Did Ms. Daniels tell you anything about how to go about finding that attorney, since they are few and far between? Any resources that she was able to give out?
No resources that she gave out. She just said continue to, do research, reach out to whoever you can. I know I've spoken to immigration attorneys in Harrisburg. The ACLU has also had a number of these cases. So there are resources, and it's just important to make sure whatever you can, as much as you can, and do that research beforehand.
All right, Andrew, thank you for that report. We appreciate it. You can find the full story on our website, cbs21.com. A lot to dive in here as this story happened over the weekend. It continues into this week, as a lot of people are curious what's going to happen to maybe their loved ones, their friends, or their family. As in this woman's case, she has a daughter who is posting about it and really coming to the forefront, asking for help. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for that information, and we'll talk to you next time. And that does it for us right here on CBS 21's 21 Next.